Hey guys, so with patch 0.3, the third edict season, being around for about 2 months at the moment, it really starts to feel like we are coming close to not really the end of the season, but the season is definitely winding down, especially with Path of Exile just having their 3.27 live stream and everybody being excited for that. I think it's a perfect time to talk about what I want to see in the future for Path of Exile 2. Now, here on this video, we're going to be specifically talking about quality of life features because there are quite a few of them that I have been pretty passionate about, especially the first one on this list, which I think a lot of people would love to see change going forward. And starting with that, we are talking about Delirium because the Delirious maps are what everybody runs in the end game. And oh my gosh, is it really annoying to prepare these maps, but also it's really frustrating to run these maps as well because the whole screen is gray. And on top of that, you are having to click on your little distilled emotions a bajillion times to actually be able to run these maps. So here are some of the fixes that I really want them to make it going forward. First one has to do with visibility sliders. So when it comes to the effects on the screen, Path of Exile is definitely not known to be a game that you have very good visual clarity. And Delirium definitely adds that lack of visual clarity. So the first big thing that I would like to see going forward is visibility sliders. Now, of course, this is talking about Delirium right now specifically, but I would love to see visibility sliders in general, right? First off, of course, Delirium, having the fog being able to be toggled on and off. Like, I think I can say for everybody that we really don't like to play the game with a gray backdrop and having everything super hazy. So it would be nice to basically give us a choice to be like, hey, I want to turn these off so I can actually see the colors in the game. Because oftentimes people are saying that Path of Exile 2 is one of the most beautiful ARPGs out there. It's one of the most graphically pleasing, the best graphics out of all of them. And I agree that Path of Exile 2 looks absolutely stunning. Like, look at this hideout, right? Everything looks amazing. The effects, the visuals, the feeling of killing monsters is just really great. But unfortunately, because in the end game, everybody is playing with delirious maps, everything gets drowned out. So being able to turn that up and down would be great. But also, on top of that, being able to turn down the effects of our own skills and our party skills at the very least. Because if you've ever run in a 6-man party, oh boy, is it really hard to see anything when you're doing that. And if you're not running a good PC, good luck running that map well, because your PC is probably struggling. So having visibility sliders for, at the very minimum, Delirium, but also having it for the skills would be something that I'm looking forward to in patch 0.4. Now, along with that, I would love to be able to have a change to the distilled emotions. So right now, when you are trying to make a map with distilled emotions, you need to go through the whole song and dance of right-clicking your distilled emotions, putting your map in there, and then putting your distilled emotions in here, clicking it, and then pulling it out. It's a lot of goddamn steps. In Path of Exile 1, you're just able to right-click it and, or click it and put it on your maps just like you would do on any other currency. That would be a nice start. That would be a really, really nice quality of life. But let's say they don't change anything about it, right? Which I hope they do make some changes. One of the biggest annoyances that I have with the distilled emotions oftentimes actually comes from when I'm trying to run a map. So when I open this up, sometimes like, oh shoot, I didn't, make my map distilled or something like that. So I pull up distilled emotions, and if I control click on the map, it doesn't go into the distilled emotions menu. It just pops it into the map device. Even though this is the latest thing that I did and it's on top of everything, I have to manually drag this, and then I can't even control click on the distilled emotions either. I need to go and click them individually. So at the very least, grinding your games, I would love it so that you have some more context for the things that we're doing. If I've opened this up the most recently, or if that's the thing that's in focus, I would like that to be the place where my items go when I control click them. This is kind of the same for when you're on the Delirium tab as well. If you pull up the distilled emotions, you bring up your map, you right click it, it goes into here, unfortunately, not there. And the same with the distilled emotions, right? It goes into here and not into here. So these are just like little small things that I would like to see. But overall, just the whole process of doing the distilled emotions on map is just way too slow. And on top of that, doing the 3-to-1 for this is also terrible. I would love to see the 3-to-1 just being completely reworked, because doing 3-to-1 for this is just absolutely terrible. If you want to do more than one at a time, you have to like click it, and then now you have to like pull it out. Then you can go on forward. Like, you can't just keep clicking reforge. It's really, really annoying. Just get rid of this whole, I don't know. It feels like a whole song and dance just to make it seem clean. Like, if you do it one time, right, it's fine. It's like, oh, cool, we got a clean UI. But then because you're doing this over and over and over again, it would be nice if you didn't have to do that whole song and dance every single time. So fixing the distilled emotions and how you do it would be great. And on like a good way to fix it, in my opinion, is making it so that, especially with maps, that's probably where we are having the most friction with it. Being able to just like be like, okay, everything in this map tab, I want to throw a exalts on them, right? I'll just like click on one thing and it'll automatically exalt everything. And I could like put distilled emotions on every single map in the tab. Wouldn't that be great? That would be amazing. So that would be like a really, really good solution. But again, mainly right now, I think the biggest pain point has to be the visibility. Please make it so it's bearable, and it's like a very easy thing to do, right? They don't have to do anything. Please, if you can make this change in 0.4, that would be absolutely amazing. Now, moving on to the next thing, tablets. I think that after the tower changes, tablets have definitely become a huge pain point for the players. Now, of course, there were some problems existing before, but they were just not really as apparent. But now that the towers are gone, things have become a lot more apparent in their issues with tablets. The first thing has to be, of course, just having at the very minimum a tablet tab. This is something that I find myself having a lot of problems with. I literally have a quad tab and then multiple tabs for tablets because of the sheer amount of tablets that we just get in this game. And to be honest, having a really bad sorting system. So at the very least, I would love to see a tablet system or a tablet tab. But beyond that, I think the bigger issue probably has to be the fact that tablets have ranges. So going in and actually like sorting the tablets is super, super difficult. So even if they did have like a map tab type of situation for the tablets, right, I still think it'll be really annoying, because one of the big problems that I have with tablets, and one of the reasons why I think that we should, I guess for this one, it says that we should not have ranges on tablets, is because of the fact that I pretty much, because of how tablets work, I never actually go and sift through my tablets at all. Usually what I'll do is I'll just identify the tablets and just throw them into the tablet tab, other than maybe rituals, because rituals you can actually sell for money. So you can just sell all of these pretty much for like 1 divine plus right now. And for that reason, it's pretty like important and good for me to sift through the tablets. But for the most part, most of these tablets are just kind of garbage, right? You just don't really use the majority of them. And then now you have to 3-to-1 them and then hopefully roll something good. I would really like to get rid of this whole system where tablets just roll a range and can sometimes roll garbage stuff and sometimes roll good stuff. Because if we get rid of the range and if we make it so that we can actually put it into something like a loot filter, right, then we can actually be able to sort tablets and make it so that tablets always drop, like only the good tablets drop, and not having any bad tablets show up on your loot filter, and then you picking them up and then having me like, oh, this is trash, but I don't want to do anything with it because this is too much work right now. So I'm just going to go put this in the tab and then worry about it later. And then you end up with this situation, right? So having it so that tablets don't roll a range, but every tab is just like, okay, this is a Magic Monsters tablet. It always has 40%, right? It's just an easy way to just be like, okay, this is good or this is bad. And then also, again, having the loot filter. And then with that, you can also potentially put them into Ange for the currency exchange, because if all the ranges are flat, right, there's no range, you could just be like, okay, I just want a rare monsters tablet, and I could go into here and be like, okay, every single one of them is gonna be 40%, so I can easily buy like 50 to 100 of them, which is, I guess, another issue right now, right? I don't have it on this list, but tablets right now also have this problem of that we are running out of them so quickly because they only have 10 uses. And after you're done with them, it's not like you can have like, sometimes you'll find like tablets that you can like replace it with, but oftentimes you're just, stuck with a bunch of garbage. So you're really just going and buying tablets from people on the marketplace at the end of the day. So having that system would just fix both issues at the same time, in my opinion. So just tablets, I think they were good in 0.1, or at least they were fun because you didn't have to deal with them that much. But now that we have to deal with them all the time, the cracks are really starting to show. And I would really like them to go back to maybe, let's just say, a Scarab system type of situation from PoE1. It would just make everything a lot more simple and a lot more streamlined. Now, the next thing that I'd like to see is merchant tab changes, not market tab, merchant tabs. So merchant tabs are a brand new addition to Path of Exile this league, and they have been absolutely wonderful. But they are not without their issues. Mainly, I think the biggest pain point for me has to do with the fact that we can't actually price things like a whole tab anymore, and we have to individually price them. Now, in the past, when you were using premium stash tabs, all you need to do is go and take a look at a stash tab, right click it, and be like, okay, for this one, I want this whole stash tab to be set for a specific price. And unfortunately, we're not really able to do that anymore. We have to go in and individually add what our prices are into the merchant tab. So this is just, I'm assuming that maybe at some point they're going to do this. This is probably just like a very much a band-aid situation that they had because they just kind of introduced this kind of last minute. So hopefully they do that in the future. But yeah, I'd love to see that in 0.4. Now, the last thing I want on this list has to be the Abyss NPC in the hideout. I am really tired of having to go to the Abyss map, the Well of Souls, for everything. And on top of that, the fact that you have to unlock it for every single character is just really annoying. So first of all, right, make it so that if you're not going to be adding it to our hideout, make it so that it unlocks for every single character the first time we do it. But beyond that, it would be really nice if we could just get something in our hideout, kind of like in Path of Exile 1 with the veiled mods. You can have the person in your hideout unveil the mods. Do the same thing with the Abyss mods as well. Have an NPC, I don't care who it is. You can even bring the guy from the Abyss into your NPC or your hideout, right? I don't really care. Just have a way for me to unveil it inside of my hideout so I don't have to travel there every single time and have to endure another loading screen and then walk down the little cliff thing. And yeah, it's just really time consuming. So yeah, let me know in the comment section what you guys want to see. Do you agree? I think mostly we're going to agree with this one specifically. But yeah, do you agree with what I have on this list? Do you have anything else that you'd like to add? Let me know down in the comments. And as per usual, if you like these types of videos, the best way to support the channel and let me know that you do is by hitting the sub button. And then beyond that, I also stream every single night on twitch.tv/MeSoXshu. So I'd love to see you guys there. But if not, hopefully I see y'all on the next video. All right, guys. Peace.